It is Wednesday. It is live at 5. Welcome everybody. How is everybody doing today? Okay, so today we are learning about holistic healing. So a couple of people have been saying that they're not really sure what holistic healing is, like what does it mean, because it kind of is an umbrella term, right, for so many different things. So today's episode is just going to be explaining a little bit about what holistic healing is in comparison as well with more like medical kind of medicine. So let's have a little look at that today. If you already know about this, it's going to be super simple, but yeah, if you don't and you want to know a little bit more, let's dive in. Okay, so we're going to be looking, like I said, to the difference between what is holistic and what is like Western medicine or conventional medicine, pharmaceuticals, that kind of stuff. So when you think of like doctors and surgeons and scientists and people like that versus energy healers and massage therapists and, you know, nutritionists and people like that. And so what's the difference? Can they be used together? Are they completely separate and shouldn't be together? Like let's have a little dive in and look at that. So the treatment methods, I guess, we'll start with. So with the holistic stuff, it's kind of self-explanatory. It's the whole. So although it's beginning with the H, it kind of like is with the W. So it's that holistic. So rather than like with the Western and the conventional medicine where they just kind of say, oh, what are your symptoms? Okay, you have this, and then they treat the symptom, right? And it's kind of very like base level. Like you have a runny nose, so you have a cold, here's some cold and flu medicine at the end, right? And they don't investigate anymore, they don't ask you any other questions, it just, let me write you a script and it's done. So with the holistic idea is that it's incorporating all of you. So yes, you're coming to someone with the physical symptoms of a cold, for example, but we're going to be looking into your lifestyle and your stress, like what are your mental and emotional things going on in your life right now. And it also incorporates spiritual things too. So though you just have a cold, what else is going on with you? Are there any other root causes that might be doing this? So with a cold, commonly that would probably mean that your body's trying to tell you to slow down. So maybe you've been stressed out a bit much at work or with family, and your body is just wanting you just to stay an extra little while in bed, a little more time just relaxing, and you're not. So it gives you the cold so that you're taking notice of it, so that you're slowing down. And so the holistic practitioner would look at all of those and want to treat all different aspects of you and all different parts of this illness or this condition. And with that, it is getting to the root cause. Whereas with the traditional, with the conventional and the pharmaceutical stuff, it's just treating the symptom of it. It's not necessarily getting to the root cause of the problem. It's just sort of putting literally a band-aid on something, and then that can come back maybe worse, or just keep coming back because you're not actually really getting to that root cause of what's actually really going on. What's your body actually telling you? And that, in a nutshell, pretty much is what it is. Your body is trying to communicate with you, and it does that through illness or with certain emotions and stuff like that. Even like you can go in the spiritual bit, right, of like just coincidences and synchronicities and things. But at the end of the day, it's trying to get you to listen. It's not your enemy. The illnesses are just dis-ease. They're not anything nasty. Anyway, I'm going off topic already. Not off topic, just not following my notes as usual. So yeah, oh, and I've just done all that. Okay, I've gone through my notes without even realizing it. Awesome. Yeah, so a holistic practitioner, they will normally spend a lot more time with you as well. They'll want to know a lot more about your history, but not necessarily your medical history. They'll want to know about your lifestyle, about what you eat and your exercises that you do, if you meditate, how often do you get a massage, for example, just for the sake of having a massage, just for like you time, just for self-care. Whereas the conventional medicine, pharmaceuticals, they usually have clients one after another, and they only have like 5-10 minutes, if that, to talk to that person. So it's literally just like, what's the problem? Okay, and I'll prescribe you, and done. They kind of kick you out, right? You're going to spend a lot more time with your holistic practitioner. They're going to block off at least an hour. Usually for the first time as well, you'll have an extra maybe 30 minutes or 20 minutes, 30 minutes to actually talk to them and really get to the root of what your condition is, what your problem is, what needs to be done. And they're going to work with you to find out what is the best course of action. And then you can go away, you can try these suggestions, come back, yes, this really worked, this really helped, this didn't, and they just keep adapting with you. Whereas usually with the medical side, they'll just maybe up your dose, or they'll find something a bit stronger, or they will just say and keep going, you know. So not trying to say one or the other, but like they're very, very different in that respect. However, they can be used together. Lots of people will use pharmaceuticals with the holistic, and usually the idea behind that as well is, one, again, holistic is treating everything, so it can help with the medical side of it too. But also people will use the holistic stuff because it can counteract a lot of the side effects that you might get from the medical side. So as you know, like with pharmaceutical stuff, they have a list of conditions that you might get from taking that. So the holistic stuff can kind of bring that those side effects down a bit, or help your body cope a little bit better with the foreign substances going in. And again, the holistic stuff can be working more with energy as well, so it could actually change the body's energetics towards any medical or pharmaceutical stuff that you're having. So a really good example would maybe be like radiation or something, chemo stuff for cancer patients. They'll usually encourage, hopefully, if you've got a good doctor, they'll encourage you to go and see someone holistic in some way or another, and we'll get to some different holistic things that you can try, but they'll ask you to go to someone like that, and then they can help counteract the negative effects, both for the physical and the mental and the emotional, even the spiritual side of the effects that you would get from cancer treatments, for example. I hope this is making sense so far. Okay, so my example was actually meant to be about diabetes, but I guess I did it with cancer. But yeah, so let's just maybe go with cancer now instead of diabetes. But like perhaps with cancer, the holistic therapist would also encourage things like meditation, or depending how physically able you are, certain types of yoga or tai chi or something like that, some kind of movement stuff to help with the mind and body and soul getting together and tuning in with each other and not fighting against each other. And also, again, like I said, you might be looking into nutrition with a holistic therapist as well. So they'll tell you the really good foods that you can have to help with your particular type of cancer. There's so many cancer helping foods, like not helping, like, you know, ones that will help you fight the cancer. There's so many foods and herbs and things that you can do. So you can be talking with a holistic therapist about stuff like that. And of course, stress, like I said, and anxiety and stuff, that can be caused by the treatments that you're getting. If you're in a hospital a lot, it can be stressful, having to go to appointments, having to go through the worry of it all, right? So again, the holistic therapies can really help you relax a bit more, can release any stress or anxiety, any pain around that. So yeah, so that's pretty much the differences for people that weren't really sure of the differences. So examples of holistic modalities that I do not offer, but are worth mentioning in this video, things like yoga. Like I said, so yoga practices that, though it's a physical thing, it's actually connecting with the rest of you, your mind and your emotions and your soul, or to your higher powers or whatever it is as well. So it's all bringing in that whole holistic, like with a W. And then of course meditation, you can either do any of these like two by yourself, or you could join like classes, you could watch videos on them and follow along. So these are all really good for tuning into your body and really connecting with what's wrong, what your body needs, what it's trying to tell you before it gets worse and worse and worse trying to communicate with you. Other holistic things would be things like, so Tai Chi as well would go in with that, of course. But then you've got things like acupuncture, which is the needle thing. So that's the idea that there are pressure points, and when you put a needle on those pressure points, it is helping the flow of energy go through your body, and the different points help with different parts of your mind, body and soul. Ayurvedic stuff is really, really good as well. It's a primarily Indian thing. It incorporates herbal stuff with massage and oils and lifestyle practices, and it's a holistic practice within itself, right? It's got all of these different modalities coming together to form this one very, very nourishing and very, very holistic benefit. So what do I do that's holistic? So ready for the list. So I do various forms of massage. So that could be Swedish, which is like the holistic massage, which is just what you think of when you think of massage. I do hot stones, where I heat up stones and I rub those, and then the heat penetrates into the muscle, into the bone, into the body, and really helps with all of the muscle pain or any aches, and it helps you with relaxation as well. It gets rid of stresses and stuff. Pregnancy massage, obviously only if you're pregnant, but that really helps with mother and child. So it's really, really cool, especially when they're further along, because you actually can feel the baby responding to the massage. So that's a really cool one there. So literally that's a holistic, because that's helping two people at the same time, or more if there's like, you know, twins or triplets in there, which I haven't done yet, but that would be pretty cool, right? And then of course I do Indian head massage, which incorporates the pressure points, which I mentioned on the acupuncture, but with my fingers and things. And so the pressure points in the head and the neck and the shoulders, and it's a massage. It's really, really kind of nice. There's of course herbal stuff as well. So the herbal stuff that I do is I do herbalism, I do flower remedies, and I do aromatherapy, which is all kind of the same thing in a way, but they're all very different modalities. They're all using herbs and flowers and plant material, and each one of these has different frequencies, different vibrations, different healing and different mood enhancing and all of that stuff. So it's a really nice treatment there. Energy healing, I do things like Reiki and chakra balancing. I do crystal healing, so that's using the crystals. These are again really, really good for holistic modalities, really help with relaxing and releasing any traumas and anxieties and stress. So back to pressure points, I do pressure points. So though I don't do the needles, I do acupressure, which is where I use my thumb or my elbow or my knee to get into your pressure points. I do something called meridian psychotherapy, which is a little bit like the tapping that you might see, but it's incorporating the meridians. It does like meridian tracing and things, and it's really just getting all of the energy to flow around the channels in your body. And then I do something called reflexology, which I did do a video on at one point as well, so you can always go back and have a look at the reflexology video right near the beginning, when I first started doing these live at 5s. That can be done on the feet, the hands, the ears, the face and the head. The idea that your body is mapped out on these areas, so pressing points on this on these parts of your body actually incorporate the entire body, including things like mental and emotional stresses as well as your physical. And finally, I do something called professional relaxation therapy, which kind of incorporates everything. It's a very holistic modality, and I do ear candling, which I also did a video on if you're interested in that. Although most people think, oh, it's just for your ears, it's actually everything in your head. So it's ears, nose and throat, and it also helps with that relaxation, that de-stressing. It can just clear out all of the gunk, especially in your head. So hopefully that's explained to you what holistic therapies are for anyone that wasn't really sure. So yes, you can use them with any medical stuff that you're doing. You obviously tell both practitioners, like your doctor and your holistic practitioner, that you're seeing both, because there are some things that don't really work well together. They don't, or they null and void each other. They kind of counteract each other. So just make sure that they both know what you're getting done. Hopefully they both agree with each other on ways to treat you, and if you can incorporate all of that, then you'll really have a really good start and a really good treatment plan for your particular physical, mental, emotional, spiritual conditions and dis-ease. So I highly encourage you to look into holistic therapies, whether you want them for any particular condition or you just want them for a preventative, because holistic does also kind of do the preventative more so, like, whereas the medical side just wait for the symptoms to appear and then they treat the symptoms. The holistic stuff kind of want to get it before it even gets to the symptom stage. So it's a preventative thing to get treatments done with holistic. So that's pretty much it for this week. Please do check out the YouTube channel if you're not watching it on there. They are the edited videos. There are sometimes pictures as well that make things a little bit more understandable and a bit more visual for you. Next week, I'm actually really excited for next week. One, because it was actually something that one of you actually asked for. So you know, I'm always saying, if there's anything that you guys want. Someone actually asked for this one. This one is going to be, so next week is going to be the 4th dimension, demystifying the bridge of ascension. How cool is that? Like, I'm so excited for that one, because she was asking about the 4th dimension, because she's hearing about this whole on the spiritual side moving up into the 5th dimension, but she understands that we're in the 3rd right now. So she's like, well, what's the 4th? Are we skipping the 4th, or is that a stage to get to the 5th? What is the 4th? What is the 4th dimension? And so you need to tune in next week to find out that one. I am actually really excited, and I do listen, so please do tell me if there's anything that you would like to request for our Live at 5s, because I want to do stuff that you guys want to hear. I don't want to just do stuff that I just want to talk about, because it might not be interesting to you. So if there's any questions that you have, or you just want to know something about anything that I do or something that I might know, please do reach out and just let me know what it is that you would like. All right, that is it for this week. Thank you very much for everyone that tuned in live on Instagram. I will upload this and hopefully get this out on YouTube by tomorrow. And until next week, have a wonderful week, everyone. Bye.